Well, there's those bagpipes. Make you want to either make love or fight somebody. Welcome to Piper's podcast again. Piper Pick Podcast, whatever we're calling the darn thing. A lot of fun. That's what we're calling it. Holy cow! I've been out on the road. I've done a lot of stuff, even since the WrestleMania. Just whizzed home, hugged my kids, jumped out again, trying to see what's going on in the news, what all my buddies are doing. I see, I live in Portland, and they have a reservoir in Portland that's 53,000 gallons. Now, you look this up, and somebody caught some kid peeing in it, so they're going to drain the 53,000 gallons out of the reservoir because some kid peed in it. Really? I mean, give me a break. I'm shooting. So I want to introduce my guest in a second, but and he's a good one, man. But it's like, I don't know. Come on, who hasn't peed in the pool? I mean, 53,000 gallons, baby. Jeez, I mean, fish shit in it, don't they? That was the old thing. What was the old thing? I think W.C. Fields or something. What was it? You want some water? No, thank you. Fish. Yes. So I'm just trying to keep you up on current events here around the world. Then there was this guy. I never claimed to be the brightest pencil in the bar, brightest spark, but some guy decides he wants to end his life. Okay, now that's a serious piece of work. I'm not going to make fun of that. It's the battle plan that he had, ambience. So what he does is this fella, the first thing he does is he cuts off his penis. Okay, now listen, I'm just the messenger. He cuts off his penis. And
introduce me or what? I haven't sitting here. Can you introduce me, please?
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, folks. We have a guest on today.
I'm so sorry. I got you. I'm so sorry. Okay, backing up, Rod. Ladies and gentlemen, the guest that we had today is like one of my favorites of all time, and my brother. He exemplifies pro wrestling, and
I appreciate you saying that.
No, he's a man's man, and I used to drag him around when he was about 17 years old. In Charlotte, North Carolina, but
my goodness.
But he turned out to be one of the
greatest. The Yellow Canary.
In the Yellow Canary. Turned out to be one of the greatest masked wrestlers of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us this week, we're honored to have the Grappler from Waxahachie, Texas.
Hey, Roddy Piper, something, brother. It's an honor to be on the podcast, on your podcast with you. I love you like a brother from another mother. Okay, and that's true. But getting back to the guy, the 53,000 gallons or whatever it was of water.
Well, it was a reservoir.
Okay, I live in Portland, Oregon. I seen that on the news. Okay. That's going to cost the taxpayers $175,000 when they drain that, they said.
Yeah.
That's some money out of my pocket, too. And I know the guy. I've seen him on the news. I've seen him before. They should drain that ugly son of a bitch. I've seen him, and I've drank with him in the bar before. I can't believe he did that.
He peed in the reservoir.
I've seen it.
53,000 gallons they're getting rid of.
And in California, they need water, right? And we're draining 53,000 gallons out here and not giving it to nobody because somebody pissed in it. Are you kidding? Birds fly by and shit in it, piss in it all day. And we still drink it?
Yeah, we drink it. It's like, just like, okay. Then there's the guy that decides he wants to end his life.
I didn't hear that one now. That's new on me.
And it's a hip-hop guy, and I'm just talking about it, but he's a hip-hop guy, and he cut off his penis And then, oh, yeah. I mean, you got to really think about this. To do that particular piece of business there, you got to be committed.
Big time.
Big time. I mean, you got to be serious.
I ain't seen the pill they made yet to convince me to do that.
No, sure. No, there ain't nothing into it. But then he wants to jump off and kill himself, right? Ooh. So he jumps off the second story. I don't know, broke his ankles.
Oh, my God.
Whenever they take him to the hospital, he's got his penis, or somebody does anyway, and then they find out he lives, and they can't sew it back on.
Oh, God.
All right, you folks out there think you've had a tough day. I don't know.
They used to call them eunuchs back in the long time ago. I don't know. I haven't read that much of the Bible, but I've heard.
Eunuchs. Very good. Holy cow. But, like, I'm trying. I mean, he cut off his dick.
Oh, man. God. What kind of guy does? He has some serious problems.
Serious issues. Yeah. Serious issues. But, like, we try to wish the best for everybody here on Piper's Pod.
Roddy, I was going to say, you're talking about you dragged me around since 17, and I appreciate it as an honor being with a fellow like you. Taught me so much about the sport of professional wrestling, how to do interviews, how to wrestle, how to have a match, how to make a living, how to talk to promoters, how to convince promoters to do your idea and make them think that it's their idea. That way you can still do it, and it comes across well. That's the one most important thing you taught me. That's what makes you some money.
I love you.
And I appreciate that so much. But then I got your book that you wrote, the first book.
One, yeah.
And, you drugged me all around the world, okay? And then we opened the transmission shop, and I worked 14 years with there.
Cool.
We sold that, and we did everything together, and then I looked in the book, and I'm not mentioned one time. I go, Roddy, hey, hello, Roddy, Lenny, the Grappler, remember me? So I asked you about it, and you had the perfect answer.
What'd I say?
Everything that we done, I couldn't put in the book. We get arrested. Are you crazy, boy? I said, all right. I didn't think of that. So thanks for that favor, too.
I got a guy tried to kill me in a car while I was writing that book. And I was intensive care in Cedars-Sinai Hospital for 5 days. I died on the table.
Oh, my God.
They brought me back. This guy ran a car. I was in the passenger side. And he ran me into a wall, and then two Suburbans that were oncoming traffic ran over my ass. And you know what? We got out, it was a Jetta, and my foot literally went through the floor to the cement, hanging on. So obviously it was old Jetta. But when, police and are over there, and I get out, and I'm just leaning against a telephone pole. This is, for you folks, if you're familiar with Los Angeles, where you come up north on Highland, and it splits from Highland to the 101, and you take a left and keep on Highland. So this guy runs me into the wall, two Suburbans. I'm out finally, and there's other people hurt, and I'm leaning against the post, but there's no outside injuries on me. And I say to the cops, can you take me home? Like, we're not a taxi company.
Gee.
Yeah, okay. We don't like you anyway, Roddy. And so finally, I guess they did call a cab. Somehow the cab got me and brought me. I was only about 2 miles away. And the cab driver goes in, and there was one of the guys was just finishing up and about to leave. He says, amigo, you want to come and get your amigo? And so he comes and gets me, and I don't really remember this. This is more of what I've been told. And I guess I got in there in the apartment at the Barham Apartments, Oakwood Apartments, rather, on Barham Avenue. And I said something like, listen, leave me alone. I'm going to take a shower. They fix everything, right?
Yeah.
And I guess I went down, ba-bombo. And this guy called the 911, and he told me, he said, they came in, they're like lollygagging, and they came in, and I'm down in the bathtub, and they take my blood pressure, and I think it was like 60/20.
Whoa, that's like close to being gone.
And the guy told me, they took on a whole new attitude.
Oh, yeah.
Boom, 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 and they got me into Cedars-Sinai. It busted my right ankle, 4 ribs. 1 rib went into my liver, my spleen, and my back in 2 places. And, whoa, gosh. So, like, I'm finally, I guess I come around. I can't remember what the days were, but they finished the book. They being Putnam Penguin. They just finished the book. Yeah. I only got up to the Yellow Canary. I'm not even sure if I got up to WrestleMania because they just took notes, and then they put me on a book tour. Right. And I did. I know it. I did 107 pieces of media and 30 towns in 25 days. Whoa. From a touring bus. And they said I was gray. And they just propped me up.
You only have 4 broken ribs. You wrestled the Junkyard Dog one night. Come on, Rod.
Holy cow, the Junkyard Dog.
Yeah,
who gonna beat that Junkyard Dog? Who gonna? Yeah.
Hey, what were you in New Orleans in the WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
It's in the
Superdome.
Yeah. Remember we talked about? You said that's one place I haven't been.
That's right.
You made it.
I made it.
I still hadn't made the Garden Saints, Vince. Yeah. So anyway, I know you can hear me out there. My name's Len Denton, the Grappler, by the way.
That's where Watts used to run.
Yeah, there.
So for you folks, the Grappler used to work for a guy named Bill Watts, who was a promoter in Oklahoma, and was one of the first guys to run the Superdome.
Yeah.
And the reason I stayed away from there, Lenny, was I heard this guy named Bill Watts, he had a big show there, and a lot of folks.
Yeah.
And Junkyard Dog and yourself. Mm-hmm. And when it came time to get paid, he had envelopes, and he gave the main event their envelopes, and he gave the undercard guys their envelopes. And when the undercard guys opened them, there was a letter just saying, you should be just proud that you were on the show. He didn't pay him.
Actually, when the first Superdome I worked, I was on the undercard, and I got that envelope.
You're kidding me.
You should be lucky to be on this card with stars like this on the card. And thanks. I got one. Yeah.
So this is the first time I've heard this.
But I had to. So I worked my way up to I came back later, 2 years later.
Yeah.
And then I was the Grappler. I was Len Denton. When I was starting out as a young guy. I made the Superdome, but I thought, all right, I'm going to get a big payoff, and I get this envelope. You should be lucky to be on the card.
Again?
That was the first time, right?
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, so when I come back, 2 years later, I was more polished.
Sure.
I was a Grappler, and I was in the main events. And then I got a payoff that time. But, I mean, can you imagine a guy you should be lucky to be on the card?
What are you going to eat? Exactly. Excuse me, my landlord, you should be lucky that I live here.
We were making $25 a night and sleeping in the cars. Back 3,000 miles a week. Thank God you didn't come there. I mean, it's like you're in the car all this time and you got to sleep in it too.
Holy cow! So you actually got one of those letters?
Oh yeah, I was there. I got one of those. Yeah.
They got an old saying: you got room in your navel for 2 peas in the heart of a promoter. And I think Bill Watts.
Yeah.
Holy cow! That's pretty stiff. And not a damn thing we could do about it.
Wasn't anything you could do about it back then.
Nah.
I wish I'd have known back then, you're probably the guy that started the whole thing where people actually started getting agents and getting the promoters to pay. Hey, listen, you get paid for this when I go do these things and this and that. This is what I do for a living, not just for free.
Yeah.
It's like, so thank God for you. I mean, I never did get to that point to have an agent, but... Yeah, you started the whole thing. Now look where it's at. It's much better for guys that make it.
A lot better.
Yeah, a lot better.
You go to that Superdome, and I know it's old news now, but I mean they got catering. Yeah. They got breakfast, dinner,
really nice.
Lunch.
Yeah.
I mean it's you can't get any more first class. Yeah. I can remember there was a time in my career where I had a limousine and a Learjet and a red carpet going to it and a suite and a dressing room catered, and I swear to you, and I'm in the suite and there's everything a guy could ever want, and I was thinking to myself, I couldn't think of another thing to ask for. Yeah. And I remember going, that's not good. We're downhill from here, that's baby. Right. And
you remember the time we went to England, you were shooting a thing in England? That was like that. They were doing the reality show with all the stars. Remember we did that? It's like 3 or 4 weeks we were there.
I forgot about that.
Well, you told me on the way over, right? You go, And we first got the first day actually. We walk into your dressing room, and they got this sign, Roddy Piper's dressing room, on the door. I go, that's pretty cool. Look at that, brother. So I open the door, and we got fruit, and we got catered food and stuff. And you go, and you set your bag down. And you said, Lenny, you see that sign on the door out there? Yeah. You see this food and these flowers and all this pretty stuff?
Yeah.
When we do the last shoot, we'll come back and that sign will be gone. There won't be one flower in this room or no food. I said, oh, come on. Yeah, I thought you were ribbing, right?
Oh.
I am not kidding. We're walking down the hall, and I look up, and the sign's gone. You were dead on, buddy.
Holy
You've been there before.
It was ITV1.
Yeah.
And we were hosting, do you remember the name of it?
I can't remember the name of the show, but I'm telling you, they was working you to death.
Yeah, they were. It was
can you shoot this one? Can you do this over? Do this over? Do this guy? Do this woman? Do this one?
Yeah, and it was.
Can you commentate this? Can you go back here?
It's something to do with celebrity.
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 But they had the guy that dated Princess Diana.
Princess Di.
That's
right.
Him and the tennis
some rugby player, some tennis player.
Lady that won the Wimbledon tennis stuff. And
doggone it, what was it? Celebrity.
Can't think of that, but they were fighting, beating the hell out of each other.
They came up with these games. They came up with these crazy games where they had like poles with big humps on the end of them, and they just beat each other like Fred Flintstone or Barney.
They don't know what they're doing either. They're just killing each other.
They didn't know what they're doing. And there's Lenny go, you know what? You should hit him harder. Hit him harder. He's having a great time, right?
They had the guy, the shoot fighter, Ian Thomas was the referee. Remember?
Ian Thomas,
I believe was his name.
Yeah.
From England.
Pretty decent guy.
Yeah.
You know what? I forgot. I haven't forgotten.
But I was classic with me. Yeah, I think so.
Celebrity Challenge?
Celebrity Challenge, yeah.
And holy cow. That was brutal. And I kept drinking tea with honey.
Yeah.
Because my throat was going. And finally, you were helping me out as a brother. And finally, you said, listen, is your throat hurt, or do you just like the drink? If you just like the drink, get your ass up and go get it. If you're sick, I'll help.
The one I love the best over there is we would go we went a few times to when it was time for to eat lunch, right?
Yeah.
And to break, and we go to the cafeteria, and of course you're trying to eat, and I'm trying to eat, but they keep stopping you, and the celebrities are getting you to sign autographs. I said, let Roddy eat, will you please? So after a few days of that, we go, look, can we just get some food brought to the dressing room?
Yeah.
So we don't have to put up signing the autographs. He wants to eat and rest, You guys are pushing and working the hell out of him out here. They say, okay, we can handle that. So they send a kid in, and I'm sitting there, and he's got his pad, and he goes, well, what would you like, sir? And we have chicken, and we have this bullshit or that or whatever. And I said, I'll take chicken. And you said something, and he goes, well, for dessert, what would you like? He goes, what do you have? He goes, well, we got... what do they call that? It's that
figgy pudding?
Something dick.
We're back to the dicks. Yeah.
It's called
cut off dick.
No.
It's
a name they use in England for pudding they have, right?
Yeah. Dickless pudding. Dickful pudding.
I can't think of it.
Doggone it.
I thought the guy was ribbing. It was. I said, "Hey," I thought he was being joking, trying to be a smartass.
Yeah.
And I said, "Hey, assoul, what are you talking about?" And you go, "Wait, calm down, Lenny. That's actually a dessert they have here."
Lenny is watching my back. He's ready to kill this guy. It's something dick. Dicks have played a large part in my life the last year or so. If I don't have
spotted dick, mate.
Spotted dick.
That's what it's called. I knew I had a brain cell left. Too many pile drivers.
Yeah, so what do you have for dessert? We've got spotted dick.
I said, what'd you say? He goes, what? I said, what'd you say? Spotted dick? You trying to be a smart ass boy? And he goes, no, sir. And Roddy goes, Lenny, it's actually a dessert. Calm down. Don't kill the guy. I go, okay. I've never heard of such shit.
Spotted dick. No kidding, huh?
That was it.
A man doesn't realize how much a dick plays part in his life until you don't have the damn thing. Well, listen, I got just nothing but great stuff. I got to take a break here, and we'll be back in just a second with some spotted dick I might. Just like wonderful stuff. We're here with the Grappler, Len Denton, and this is Piper's Pod. We'll see you in 2 seconds. Bye-bye.
Have you ever been conned by a contractor? I'm Adam Carolla. Before I was a beloved celebrity, I used to work construction. I worked as a master carpenter. I got a new show on Spike called Catch a Contractor, where we help families who've been screwed by crappy contractors. My team and I track down these dirtbags and bring them back to face the families they shafted to finish the job right. Time to hammer home some justice, baby.
Catch a Contractor. New episode Sunday at 10, 9 Central on Spike.
We're back.
We're back, brother.
Talking about spotted dick. My career is, you know what just played is, holy cow, Legend House.
Yeah. Tell me about that, Rod. Well, I heard it's really good.
You know, I watched it for the first time. Before we get to that, because I don't want to have to cut my dick off and jump off the second story. I was going to.
I can see the theme of this show today.
I guess so. But I just want to I have known the Grappler and played ribs on him since he's been 17.
Okay.
Some of the greatest things we've been in, we were just before the break, gone to England together. I flew over to England to audition for this thing. And flew back. I flew to England for 20 minutes, get on the plane, and fly back.
I remember that, yeah.
Oh, baby Jesus. But, then we lose, it's like we lose touch with each other. I went, just last time I think I saw Lenny, the Grappler, was maybe a little more than a year ago. And then we get apart, and we don't know what each other's doing, and then when we see each other, it's like we've never been apart. I don't know if you've ever had a friend like that. It's very cool. So what the shenanigans are you? Okay, let me just start this.
Okay,
because I want to know what you're up to, but let me just tell a quick story that'll get you in the mood.
All right,
this is pretty priceless now. So. Lenny Grappler has been living in Portland, Oregon for how long now?
Since I moved here in 87, so whatever that is.
Baby Jesus.
Don't ask me that.
87. I mean, he's known all over the world, and he's made it his home, and his beautiful wife, Katie, and his beautiful girls, and Portland, Oregon was like a very tight territory at one time. But Don Owens... Don Owens, he was a little tiny guy, but he was just a scruffer. I'll punch you right in the nose. A couple of things. I'll get to you. A couple of things. So it's my first day. Buddy Rose has been asking me, come on down. I was working in L.A. Or come on up. I've been working in L.A. about 3 years, and I was on top for the first time. That's a hard thing to do. Now, people may not understand. When it was back in the territories, when you left a territory, you were nothing.
Right.
And when you went in another territory, you were nothing.
You had to build yourself
up. So, leaving even the first time as male, dicks, major trauma.
Yes, sir.
Okay? As is cutting off your dick. I just can't get around that one. Anyway.
It's hard to forget.
So... back in these days, this is still the 70s. And I was playing the bagpipes in the ring, and I was a villain, evil guy. And so it's live TV, right? So Don Owens, how y'all doing, And he says, and in this corner, Rowdy Roddy Piper, and he's going to play his bagpipes. So back in the day, I get those bagpipes up, and I took off of Jack Benny with the violin. He played horrible. But Jack Benny could play with symphonies. He was and so those bagpipes, I'd make them put the microphone down by the chanter, was where the major noise comes out, and I'd hold them for 30 seconds. And just from pain of eardrums, and finally, so there I get, and finally the whole building going, boo, boo. And Don Owens goes, all right, stop. And I stop, and he looks at everybody, stop. He says, now, hang on. I can't play the bagpipes. You can't play the bagpipes. Let's give him another shot. No, it's okay. Just take the bagpipes.
I think you missed it, Don.
First day in the territory. Oh, baby
That's
Jesus.
fantastic.
All right, so then another quick one. Don Owens, like every Thanksgiving, he would bring the boys turkeys.
Yeah, I love this one too.
And so this one Thanksgiving, one of my favorite midgets, Tokyo Joe.
Yes.
Tokyo.
Oh,
yeah, there he was a great guy. But Don Owens had the midgets in. So it was Thanksgiving, and so he brings turkeys, and he gives turkeys to all the boys, and to the midgets, he gives them Cornish hens.
I got a Don Owens story.
Go.
So Don Owens, I'm wrestling here. I've been here about 2 years. Yeah. And so I wrestle. I do a thing where I wrestle Fujinami, was a world champion in Japan.
Wrestled him a lot.
He came and wrestled me for the Northwest Heavyweight title and beat me here for the belt.
Gotcha.
So I flew to Japan and beat him for the belt back. And I came back.
Yeah.
And so, but before this happened, we had done a show that had sold out. And so Don goes, when he pays me, this is before I went to Japan, right?
Gotcha.
Don pays me my normal amount of money.
Yeah.
I go, Don, excuse me, you're missing a few hundred there. We sold out Eugene and we sold out Portland. Can you kick me a little cash here, buddy? He goes, that's all you're getting, on a guarantee. I go, yeah, but we sold out. Okay. You get extra usually. He said, take that and get your ass out of here, boy. You won't keep your job. I go, oh, okay. So when I went to Japan, I couldn't figure no way to get no money out of this old guy.
Yeah.
And so I go, he pays my phone bill because I hire and fire guy. Like I was helping get the talent. So I called Katie Collect 3 times a day from Tokyo. So when he got his bill, that old bastard went crazy. So he calls me up and says, hey, meet me downtown in Portland. And he lives in Eugene.
That's right.
He calls me downtown. Me and Barry want to buy you something to eat. I'm like, what? So I come down there, and as I round the corner, I open the door, and there says Barry and Don and you. And I went, I'm fired. I said, why is Piper here? So I walked in. I sat down, and Don goes, you're fired, asshole. He's holding the phone bill. I go, let me guess who the new booker is. So you started laughing, right? But here's a classic, and I love you to death for this, brother. If they can't see me, but I'm shaking your hand right now.
I love you, too.
Okay. You go like this because you're doing the Love Boat and you got movies going.
That's
and
right.
you're wrestling for WWE and he wants you to run his TV.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, you got fired, you asshole, on every day. And this is the new guy I'm hiring, Roddy Piper. He's better than you anyway. He drew more money, he always has, and so you can see what you get. And I go, thanks, Don. I had a good time working with you too. and so you went like this. You go, Don. I tell you what, I got all these irons in the fire, and I really want to help get you. And I can get this thing going. You got some great talent, but I'm going to need an assistant. And I think I'd like to have Lenny, the grappler. Yeah, and you hired me on the spot for the same amount of money. I went, thanks, Don. Don said, son of a bitch. So me and you, remember, we worked together on it. That's how we got together on the TV. It was great. I went home and said, you ain't going to believe this. I just got fired and hired again in 2 minutes.
Those were the days, my friend.
I love it, man.
What, so, I'm out of the loop. What are you doing now?
I'm actually working for West Coast Wrestling Connection.
West Coast Wrestling Connection.
And they're going to be on PDX. I found out today that their first air date is May 24th.
On PDX?
PDX.
That's, you know what? That's a great station.
Yeah, and so I'm working for them. And
what's the date that they're going to start?
The first air date where they show it on the air is May 24th.
Good for you.
Yeah.
What do you got going?
Coming on May the 3rd, coming up here, we got a show. We tape at the Bob White Theater. It's on 64th and Foster, right on the southeast side.
Cool.
Right in Felony Flats, right where all the wrestling fans live.
God bless you. Come on down.
So we'll be there May 3rd. It starts at 1 o'clock. And then the next day we're in Salem. And they're shooting some TV there, too. You can just Google West Coast Wrestling Connection, if any of you fans, and just see it. It'll show you where to go, where to get your tickets, and all that.
So where do you tape the shows?
We tape the show at the Bob White Theater.
Oh, God, sorry. You just said that, didn't you?
On 64th and Foster. We'll be doing 4 shows on the 3rd.
4 shows on the 3rd?
We tape 4 shows in advance. And
nice.
And so it's old theater. It's kind of like the could remind you of the Don Owens days. But it's seated theater, like you go in a walk-in movie.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's got a stage, and we put the ring in front of the stage, and we got the lights and all this stuff.
Do you have people all around it, or it's on the...
Just on the one side. You got the hard camera shooting.
Beautiful, man. Stage, good. Yeah. And what league is it?
It's the West Coast Wrestling Connection.
West Coast Wrestling Connection. Yeah. Good deal. What you got going on? You got a young talent?
I tell you, there's a lot of guys, all the guys on the West Coast, there's guys in California that do wrestling from Hollywood. Pro wrestling from Hollywood.
David Marquette.
Yeah, and some of his guys. And there's one guy in particular. It's called Othello. Now,
what's his name?
Othello.
Othello.
Now,
you better be tough.
That's what I said. What does that mean, And so Joe V, you know Joe V, right?
I love Joe V.
Joe V goes, well, Lenny, since you read so much Shakespeare in your life, there was a guy, if you ever read Shakespeare, you'd know he was a big black king warrior, and he was like nobody could beat him, and that's why he calls himself that. I go, so you read Shakespeare, and that big, tall black guy read Shakespeare? I don't think so. Somebody gave him that name because I know he don't read Shakespeare. But the guy's 7 foot tall. Okay, legit.
He's
7 foot tall, and he's in shape, and he can nip up like the little guys. Unbelievable. Yeah, he's agile. I couldn't believe it.
7 feet tall?
7 feet tall.
How much does he weigh?
He weighs about 290 right now.
He's
cut up. He's got abs.
How old is he?
I would say he's 30, 32 maybe.
Really?
Yeah, he's
and he can nip up?
He can nip up. I couldn't believe it when I seen him do it. I mean, just zip right up. And I can't even.
So he's one of the guys that's going to be at these tapings?
He's going to be there. There's going to be, Gangrel is going to be there.
Who?
Gangrel, the guy worked for Vince.
Nice.
And for WWE.
What about like Thunder and just saying for the great guys, Thunder and Wade Hess and
Exile
and the Blanchards.
Jeremy Blanchard's
Patrick Large.
Yep, Jeremy Blanchard's working on the card. Actually, I manage him as in part of the Wrecking Crew.
Yeah,
he's a legacy champion.
You don't have a hair in your butt if you don't catch these guys. They are fantastic. Patrick Large.
You know what the thing is, like the tapings, the first set, like the lights, we had some few issues with lighting and different things. But you know what makes the show rod? And like you always know, those guys go out there, young guys, and just beat the hell out of each other. It's like, how can you not like that?
Yeah.
I don't care about your lights. Let me see this thing. You know what I mean?
Put a flashlight on them.
We're killing each other, man.
Man, that's one thing about the Northwest. The guys, they don't have a chance to get all over the world, but they put in so much heart. Every one of them. I love them all.
I respect every one of them.
Every one of them. I'm trying to think of, there was that kid in the Hugh Hefner thing. There was that kid, Eric
Wright.
Eric Wright.
Yeah, he's there. The other guy, Ashton Fatton, the fellow from Chicago. He'll be there. Matt Stryker from WWE, he's going to be there.
Matt's a great guy.
He's a great guy.
And Ashton Fatton.
Yeah.
That kid's going to be a doctor. He's studying to be a doctor.
Yeah. He told me that. Yeah.
Check on yourself and wonder why you're wrestling.
Me. I go, here's what you already know, Grappler. I go, I figured you did. But you know what I found out from managing? I wasn't a manager. I was a wrestler like you, right?
Yeah.
And so don't ever be a manager, Rod. Because here's what I figured out. By the time they get to me, you've already got them real pissed off. So they're throwing them harder than they were to start. So you get the brunt of the thing, you assholes. It's like, hey, dude, I didn't do it.
They're killing you, right? They're killing you. Holy cow.
Yeah, there's a lot of young stars and a lot of people. And it's going to be a packed card. Oh, you're not going to believe who's going to be there.
Who?
Alani Kai.
Get out.
Remember Alani Kai? They want to start a thing where she comes in as a legend, and they're going to eventually probably try to get a women's division. But she's going to come in as a legend and do some promos.
She's great.
Yeah. And
She's great.
I say get her here, man.
You betcha.
I love Leilani, you know?
She herself is worth the price of admission.
Yes.
And it's not the Bob White?
Bob White Theater, yeah.
Bob White Theater, and you got Othello.
Yeah, Othello.
7 feet tall that can nip up.
Yes, sir.
And did you say he's got abs?
Oh, he's cut up. He's ripped up.
I hate him already.
I do too.
So who are you gonna match him with?
Well, he did this thing already where I brought him out and he hurt this big guy. He's not as big as Othello, but he hurt his ribs. So Big Duke, the guy's called Big Duke. He's a heck of a hand too.
Be a good name for a dog.
I don't think the last match he had, it was a handicap. He beat 2 guys. He stacked them on top of each other. Okay, so Big Duke is wanting him, but I'm not really sure if Duke knows what he's stepping into.
Gotcha.
And so, May 3rd, we got some plans for Mr. Duke.
It reminds me like when Andre the Giant was young.
I kind of compared him to Andre, but I mean, Andre still was a freak of nature. This guy, no one compares to Andre.
Oh my God! And that's with all due respect to Othello or any other person. Big Show. Andre was Andre the Giant. He's the real deal. When he was young, he'd come through every territory that I ever was, and he'd always pick me to wrestle.
Of course, yeah.
It's Andre.
But he was good.
He was great.
Psychology, he was great.
He was great. The first thing he would do every match, he would come after me. He would rip my T-shirt off me, and then he would put it on himself. That's look like Baby Huey.
Now, he's great. I tell you what happened one time. This is how smart the guy is. That you wouldn't think this. You think he'd just beat the hell out of people and he's so big.
Yeah.
We had a 6-man tag. Dick Murdoch, me, and Bob Orton Jr., Ace, right? We're in a 6-man against Junkyard Dog, Andre the Giant, and Paul Orndorff.
Holy cow.
And it's a spot show and it's packed, right? It's like always, hanging from the rafters, baby. It's every story I ever told.
Every story. Any old timer that tells a story. Hanging from the rafters, baby.
So we're in there, and so we do their thing. We're flying all over for them, and bam, 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 bam. It's time to get ours back, right? So I get Orndorff in there, and I hit Orndorff, and he hits me back. I scratch his eyes, he scratches my eyes back. I kick him in the nuts, he kicks me back in the nuts. I go, you mind tagging Junkyard Dog in? So Dog comes, headbutt me 5 times in a row. I go, gee. So I give him a nut shot. He gives me a nut shot. I go, I'm looking at Murdoch and Orton. I'm going, I can't. Who am I supposed to? Finally, Andre goes, tag me in, boss. And everybody stops. And Dog tags Andre in. He says, Grappler, push me in the corner. Referee, get him. Load the boot, Grappler, and kick me. I load the boot. I kick him in the stomach. He goes, oh, and he drops to his knees, and we got the heat on Andre. Can you believe that? He said, you prima donna assholes.
That's Andre.
That's Andre, okay?
That's a great...
Tell me that's not a classic guy.
One time, same thing. I was young, and it was kind of a spot show, and I was working with Andre.
Yeah.
And you know what? He wouldn't pin me. He kept making me work his arm.
Yeah.
Like 35 minutes.
Wow.
And he just and then so many other, once he found somebody that he was comfortable working with, he kept picking him, each territory, kept picking him over and over. What he did was this, I don't know how many times I wrestled Andre or you, maybe 50, you guess it,
Yeah.
So now we're in Madison Square Garden, and just keep it as clean as I can here. Andre the Giant, for me, insists on getting hurt in the ring and getting carried out on a stretcher.
Oh, man.
For me.
Fantastic.
I was tagged up with David
Does that
Schultz.
make you or what?
Unbelievable.
Made me. Yeah.
And then he'd come back with... God,
I seen that. I seen that on tape. He come back with the Spirit of 76.
That Spirit of 76.
Yeah.
And you know why that happened? Was Vince was going, this, that. No, boss. You're Piper.
Yes, sir.
And he insisted.
Yeah.
And he's such a classy guy. That was his way of repaying me
for all those
times.
It's like Rod. He would like, if he liked you, and like he did you and loved you, he'd insist on working with you.
Yeah.
The only bad thing with me, he insisted on drinking with me. He insisted that I drink too. Hey, you tell him no, right? Will you stop and get a case of wine on the way to the show? I go, boss, well, you go ahead and drink on the way there. And on the way back, he'd drink the beer, right?
Oh.
And one time I snuck out on him and he found me.
Oh, baby Jesus.
Oh, brother, that wasn't sweet. That wasn't. You know, he found me. I went to Black Bart's across the river in Baton Rouge at his trailer park. Okay, living in a trailer park, hiding from Andre. I figured he'll never find me here. Somebody stooged me off. I think it was Black Bart because he got scared. I'm asleep because I was hungover from the last 3 nights. And I was asleep in my underwear, and all of a sudden, the mattress turns upside down with me in it. I bounce off the wall, I get up, and he chops me back across the bed.
The giant?
The giant. And he goes, I said, let me get my pants, boss. Hold on. We went to the After Hours Club, and, from there on, it's history. I love it. God. Never run from me and lie to me again, Grappler. I go, yes, sir.
And we'll be right back after this break. Oh,
it's a true story, dude.
Hello, podcast fans. Adam Carolla here. I'm leading the fight against patent trolls who are threatening this medium. It's not about me. It's about the podcast you're listening to right now. If I go down, this show could be next. So visit fundanything.com/patent troll for more information on how you can keep podcasting alive. Thank you and mahalo.
Hey guys, I'm Paul Shirley. I used to play in the NBA.
And I'm Justin Halpern, creator of My Dad Says.
We talk about the NBA in ways that people don't usually talk about the NBA.
Yeah, we don't ask the same dumb questions, and this week we have Pau Gasol on, and we definitely don't ask him the same dumb questions everybody else does.
At least we hope not. So come judge us. Everyone likes to judge. Judge our ability to talk to Pau Gasol.
Yeah, and come listen to our NBA podcast. I bet you like it.
Short Corner with actual NBA journeyman Paul Shirley and Fox TV writer Justin Halpern. Download it now at podcastone.com.
Andre the Giant stories. It was just in the break. The Grappler was telling me we were finishing that story about he couldn't get in the trailer. Just
no, he got in the trailer, but it's like going through the bedroom. You know, the trailers are small, and Andre's so big.
Like you're in a trailer park.
It's a regular trailer park, like how trailer.
Can you just picture at night in a trailer park and a giant is walking through?
Exactly. Yeah, here he comes,
looking for you.
I know.
Villagers in his teeth.
Yeah, it's like a nightmare, man. Oh. And he wakes me up dead asleep, flips the bed upside down. The mattress with me in it.
Oh
man, it was something else.
You know, holy cow. I was going to tell him Andre the Giant story, but I think I'll just edit that one. Holy cow. There's so much. I've been laughing hard. It's really nice to see you again.
Oh, great to see you, Rod. Thank you very much.
I love you so much, man.
Thank you very much.
We have run across so many people. And both were raised in such an odd occupation.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And neither one of us big guys, so we had to fight to get there.
You know, you just like you used to always tell me, so I'll work 24/7 to keep from getting a real job.
No kidding.
I want to be a pro wrestler by
You
God.
betcha.
But you know what? The thing is they have a wrestling school, this West Coast Wrestling Connection as well. In Salem.
They have a wrestling school?
Yeah, and I go there once every 2 weeks.
You train them?
Yes, sir.
Listen, if you want to go to a wrestling school, any place the Grappler's at, that's the school to go to. And I put my stamp on that.
Thank you very much, Roddy. I appreciate that. And I go there, once every 2 weeks, and there's probably about 8 to 10 students total right now. And I go in there, and the last Wednesday I did it. And these kids they're in there, but they don't like we had to learn from the ground up.
Yes.
They want to jump straight into a match, and it's like, hey, no. I told all of them. I said, listen, they put my name on this, stamped my name on this wrestling school academy because they want to use my name, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it's changing now. None of you guys are having a match until I say you're ready. Because if you go out there telling people that the Grappler trained you, If you're the shits, I look like the shits.
That's right,
I said, that's not going to happen. I have been 32 years in this business, killing myself trying to make a living, and you're not going to screw it up.
That's right. That's right.
So they're going to learn, you know.
Good,
and the ones that can't make it, can't make it.
You know, that's what's great. You know, you're going to get an honest professional in there. Some of these schools, the way that used to happen. I know you know, Lenny. What they used to do they had wrestling schools, but like it was just a scam. Because I'll make up the number. I don't know. Like, give us $1,000. You know, if you can make it through training, we'll get you booked on the TV. You know, whatever the pitch was.
Yeah.
And you'd come, and they'd have some hookers there. No, that was later.
I don't remember that school.
I don't remember that school. Like, they have some pretty capable guys of beating you up, stretching you, we called it, and you'd come, and they'd beat you up so bad you wouldn't come back.
You wouldn't come back. That's just to get your money.
Yeah, and they would. And
they did it week after week.
Holy cow! I mean, I know it was a story in Florida where they beat one guy up so bad where he came out of the school onto the street and fell down, and people thought he got hit by a car. They put the sugar roll on him. He had blood coming out of his nose and eyes and ears. And they're brutal. They're like these. You
know Magnum TA? I heard that Magnum TA financed his house and gave the money to Buzz Sawyer. Poor Buzz is dead now, knock on wood, to get trained.
No.
Of course, he made his money back. He was a star. Thank God.
Yeah.
Financed his mom's home to get trained.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Tips what not to do in wrestling.
And I'll tell you a good one about Ace, Bob Orton Jr.
Oof.
I was in, check this out. I'm in Louisiana, okay?
Yeah.
And this ain't no bragging on me, but when you hear the end of the story, you know what? Bob Orton Jr. comes out, we're at TV. This guy had came, say, a year before and talked to Grizzly Smith, who was Jake Roberts' dad.
Yeah.
And he was he was like the office guy who worked for Bill Watts, right? This basic stooge.
Gotcha.
No, I love Grizz. I always got along with Grizz.
Gotcha.
He could have stooged me off a lot more than he did, believe me.
Yeah.
He let a lot of it go. But he goes, the guy comes to him, the fan, and goes, I want to be a wrestler. I want to get in the ring and try. I think I can do it. And he says, you're too overweight. He said, you're too overweight. You need to lose at least 100 pounds. What do you weigh? The guy said 300 pounds. He goes, go lose 100 pounds and come back, and maybe we'll talk. A year later, the guy comes back, and he lost 100 pounds. So Grizz goes to Bill and says, the guy, he tells him the story. He goes, well, after TV, let's put him in the ring and see what he can do.
Yeah.
We're going to stretch him,
Yeah.
So they get, it was Sandy Barr, Jesse Barr's boy, Jesse Barr, and Buddy Landell. They were supposed to be, remember him? They were supposed to be pretty good amateurs. And so they got them in there with the guy. And so me and Orton Jr. is getting ready to go to the shower. I'm already finished. Now I got the Northwest heavyweight belt, the Mississippi heavyweight belt, and one of the tag team belts. But I ain't no shooter, so they don't ask me to do nothing. Just make sure you win your match every night and nobody kicks your ass and you're fired. So Orton Jr.'s got his boots unlaced. It's just tied around his ankles. He's got his towel and his stuff. He's fixing to go downstairs to the shower. And he's watching me, sitting beside me. And he goes, so Landell tries the guy, and the guy keeps getting away from him.
Buddy Landell tries
to take him down stretch. The guy keeps setting out and getting away.
Really?
So it's okay, let Jesse give it a whirl. Golly, buddy. Hell, what's wrong with you? Yeah. Watts is all over his ass.
Ooh.
Jesse Barr gets on him, and he can't hold the guy down either. The guy keeps slipping out and getting away. So Orton looks at me and goes, I'll be damned. He is, right? He goes, I guess I'm going to have time with this. I said, oh, shit. Orton goes down with his laces tied around his ankles still, and his towel and had on his under tights, slides in, holds his hands up like he's in school, Bill. He says, you got a question? He goes, can I give it a try? He goes, yeah. Goes behind, takes him down, puts him in a sleeper, puts the guy out. Boom. Guy comes to. He goes, you want to try it again? He goes, yeah. Takes him down, puts him to sleep again. He goes, okay, I guess you're not a wrestler. That's how good Orton was. I'm telling you, buddy.
I had a good man watching my back.
Yes, sir, buddy.
Bobby Orton. Holy cow. There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of Bobby Orton stories. Ace. He's an exceptional. He's a man's man.
You know what he did one time? And I was in San Antonio working for Tully Blanchard and his dad.
Yeah.
Southwest Championship Wrestling. Had the tag belts and all this stuff. We're doing good. Tully goes out in Corpus Christi, and there's a big Mexican fella, and he gets coming back from the ring, and you know how we're taught to watch the guys' backs.
Yeah.
If you see one of the boys getting into it, go out there and help. Don't just leave him by himself.
No kidding.
Because the fans will triple, four-time him, whatever, they'll kill him.
Absolutely.
And so this guy's like, he's bigger than Tully. He's trying to hit him, and the security's not really doing much. I tell my partner, come on, let's go, Tony. Let's go out here and help Tully back, Yeah. So when we get out there, the guy takes a poke at Tully, and he ducks, and he pulls, and it's in the winter, he pulls a coat over the guy's head, and he went down.
Yeah.
Well, I just run back and just booted him right in the face.
Gotcha.
But I had that big-ass boot on, and it split the guy's lip all the way from his lip up to his eye, knocked him out, knocked his front teeth out.
Whoa.
Out he went, and I went, oh. And I didn't mean to kick him that damn hard. So he's laying there.
Wrestlers.
So I go back and take a shower, and I come back, got paid, and I look out there, and the medics, he's still laying on the floor. I went, holy shit, I'm going to kill this man. And I told him, Tony, let's get out of here. This might be the last night I get to run free, brother. I think I might have killed that fella. So I was scared. We hauled back to Houston, right? And so anyway, the guy come to in the ambulance, they tell me, and he sued Tully instead of me because he didn't see me kicking.
Yes.
And it was a $150,000 lawsuit, which is back in, 80-something was a lot of money, right?
A lot of money.
And so Tully gets pissed off at me. He says, man, you got me. So I said, I was out there trying to help you, dude. So he's arguing back and forth, and he's pissed off. So then he starts running me in every match, every night, trying to get me hurt. Down by the border and all that stuff. And the people are like waiting for me to come. They're going, come on, come on. And so I'm fighting fans every night. And I said, Tully, you do that one more time, I'm going to whoop your ass when I come back. I'm tired of this bullshit. And so he had
I can see you.
Yeah.
You're angry.
So
as
he
you
had,
say it.
so I'm still mad about it.
Yeah.
I like Tully, but that was wrong. And so Orton is in the territory, and he was the gun in the territory.
Yeah.
He comes over in Beaumont. Tully sends him over. I said, he comes over and says, can I talk to you a minute, Lenny? Now, we're friends, right? Yeah. I go, what is it, Bobby? He goes, Tully sent me over here. Can you back off, Tully and Gino? He said, I work for him, and I know we're friends. I said, I'm giving my notice. Don't worry about it. So I went right over and gave my notice. But that's, Bobby was like the shooter in the territory. Yeah, so he had to take care of business for the guy. So he comes over, but we're being friends. He's just like, can you just back out? I don't want to mess you all up and hurt you, I don't have to. I go, thanks, Bobby. Thank you very much. I'm giving my notice now. And I did and left.
No. Bobby, one time, there's so many. Holy cow. Bobby Orton and I are coming back from Poughkeepsie, doing 3 weeks of television in one day.
Whoa.
And, we're drinking rather heavily in the car on the way home.
No.
And we get the bright idea, we want sushi. So we're headed from Poughkeepsie back to New Jersey, and we make a bypass right downtown Manhattan. Okay?
Whoa.
So we get out of the car, and we go in, and we took our time. We had sushi. More sushi. Yes, sake. More sake. Geisha. No geisha. More sake. We had a great old time. Okay? Finally, baby Jesus, we go to leave, and we go outside, and there's the car double parked next to another car with the doors closed and locked. The car was running. In the back of the window, you could see my Halliburton. It was surrounded with police, and they had 2 guys handcuffed. We just got out of the car and closed it, and watched 2 guys try to steal it.
Oh.
And here cops and boom, and we're going, no, we're fine. You got us one of them slip things we can get in the car, and away we're gone.
No,
that's a true story,
that's
man.
Great.
He never missed a beat. Baby Jesus.
Steal your car.
Holy cow, man.
You know something, Roddy? A lot of people don't know. I mean, I was, like you said, we go way back when I was 17 years old. Back then, I was like one of the young guys, an underneath card, the Pooms, plus one other match on the card.
Yeah.
And so, but the one thing that everybody appreciated and respected about you stood up for us. You did. You were one of the top guys that did. You go tell Ole, up you, Ole, okay? This kid can do this, and this guy can do that. And you would stand up for money, and you were the guy that would we looked up to. And I still do, and I always will. I just want you to know that. You know, I always have.
Means a lot.
Yes.
The HBO Real Sports about that was a little stiff, you know. But, and you know the good thing about doing that show is they play it every week for a month. You know?
Let's show it one more time.
Fire him again, damn it! He's already fired. We'll double fire him.
Gotcha. But yeah, it's
yeah.
But the classic was working with Don Owens. We had a blast. And here's what I love. Roddy, a lot of people know. So you're doing the Love Boat, right? Because we had a phone.
Right.
You had a phone hooked up, so you could call me direct while I'm doing TV.
Okay, so just a second. We got to set it for these fans.
Okay.
This is how crazy this business is. Lenny is the head cheese in Northwest. He's taking care of all the business. I am on the Love Boat on the East Coast. Portland, you know, is on the West Coast. It's beautiful. Thank you, Sarah. This beautiful studio we have and lady taking care of
That's
us.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was the Love Boat reunion. It was a movie. So I'm on the Love Boat on the East Coast, literally. And I got them to put the captain to put up a line.
Yes.
So now.
Yeah. So I get a call. I'm in the middle of getting ready to shoot the TV, and everybody got their stuff, and everybody's getting in the dressing room, getting dressed, and I'm laying stuff out, and I get a call, and you go, "Hey, Lenny, I talked to Don there, and Billy Jack missed a couple of shows, and needed to fire him tonight." I go, "What?" I don't know if you folks ever seen Billy Jack Haynes, but he ain't a little feller.
No.
Okay, and he was in his great shape, and
he's got a bit of a
got
temper.
a real bad temper.
But I'm on the East Coast in the water.
I said, you could have waited till, well, no, it's your job, you know. I go, yeah, that's true. And I was in pretty good shape, but I was like, I don't know about this one, you know. I said, okay, Roddy, I got it. So I went in there just like the man I am, and I went, listen, this ain't coming from me.
I love it. I would have done the same thing.
This ain't coming from me. Okay, I want you to know right now, Billy. It's that damn Roddy Piper and that Don Owens. If I had my way, I'd give you the heavyweight belt. But instead of that, we're going to have to fire you tonight. he goes like, I figure he's going to go ballistic, right? He's going to go off. I'm going to have to fight him, or he's going to kill me, or something's going to happen. At least he's going to slap somebody. And he just looked at me, just dumbfounded. I couldn't believe him. He goes, what? I told him again. I'm serious, man. You're gone. You missed the shows. Don's mad. And what am I going to do? Tell my boss no? He goes, I should have expected that. Got his shit and left. I went, well, that shocked me. I was like, thank you, Lord.
So let me tell you, while I'm on that boat, literally the Love Boat, I'm not kidding you, on the East Coast going up and down shooting this movie. Now, you know, man can drink a lot on a boat. So it's nighttime. And, we only got 4 minutes left. I got to get this story out. So it's nighttime. And, you know, they have different things going on in the boat and the ship. And I come in and I walk in and there's like a dance floor and there's a band. And I don't know what I did to this day. I'm not sure what I did wrong. But I kind of walked in and I'm looking. And all of a sudden, boom, somebody kicks me in the ass.
Holy cow.
I turn around. Seriously?
Really?
And he was from South Africa.
Huh.
Now, I don't know what I did. I don't know if I came and got in front of him or something.
Yeah.
But I didn't care.
Yeah.
I said, come here.
Oh, yeah.
And I got him to the side of the ship. This is nighttime.
Whoa.
And I said to him, you're going to apologize to me. And if I don't like it, I'm throwing you overboard.
And they will not find you.
They will.
Not at night.
I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Now, while this was going on, I didn't know it, but the DP, the cameraman, the guy who runs guy who runs the camera,
right,
takes the pictures. He saw what happened, and he's watching.
Oh.
And saw the guy apologizes, ain't good enough. And I got him, and he really starts apologizing.
I bet, yeah.
In my little mind, just come back and pick him up, right? Well, it would have taken, they told me, a mile to
turn around, yeah.
And then where the hell is he?
It's like find a needle. You'd probably never find him, yeah.
Would have killed him.
Yeah.
So, the next morning, it was Aaron Spelling. Aaron Spelling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Aaron Spelling.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so the next morning.
Hold on. Could you pick a bigger name or something?
I got to tell you, Bob Orton, sorry, before we go. Okay. Aaron Spelling, he comes, I'm in the sauna trying to get some of it out, And Aaron Spelling comes in the sauna with his clothes on.
Jeez.
And just, hello, Roddy. Hey. Really don't feel much like talking. So were you going to throw somebody overboard last night? Oh, let me think for a second. Last night. That would be the night before last or the last night? Last night. That'd be that. Okay. Yeah, I was. And he said to me, do you know that a mile to... And you... No, but I tell you something. He kicked me in the ass.
Yeah.
And he said, what? He kicked me in the ass. And that photographer stood up for me.
Yeah.
And so I got out of that. But but just a second. So go back with Bobby Orton. I just saw him, right?
Uh-huh.
And you're saying, Roddy.
Right.
Couldn't you piss off somebody? Aaron Spelling, right?
With a bigger name.
This is what Bobby Orton says to me at the last time I saw him at WrestleMania. Vince McMahon, I think he was like 23 on the billionaire list, right? So Bobby Orton and I are talking, and finally Bobby Orton says to me, Roddy, he says, did you see the guy's number 23 on the billionaire list? He says, don't you think maybe it's time to get along with him?
No kidding, Rod. Yeah.
What do you think?
Rethink it a little
What do you think?
Might help you along in life just a little.
I love you. Where are they going to have that?
It's the Bob White Theater, May 3rd at 1 o'clock.
Bob White Theater, May 3rd.
West Coast Wrestling Connection.
West Coast Wrestling Connection. I think comes out of Hollywood with David Marquette and a lot of wonderful people, wonderfully talented wrestlers. You don't want to miss that. Geez, there's an Elton Owens story I'd love to tell. But we don't have time. So, listen, you don't want to miss those folks. They're great, great young athletes. And thanks.
Rod, thanks for having me on your show.
I love you, Velma.
It's an honor.
Thank you very much. I love you all, and we'll talk about Legend House another day. There's those bagpipes. I'll leave you with an Irish poem for those who love us. May God bless. For those who don't, may God turn their hearts. And if He can't turn their hearts, may He turn their ankles so we recognize them by their lip. We're gone.
This has been a Podcast One production. Executive producer Norm Pattis.